Breaking news, an official cause of death for Michelle Trachtenberg has been declared. Hello, my fam. Perez Hilton here, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and in a move that's definitely surprised me, we already have an official cause of death for the beloved actress. As I mentioned, she was found dead by her mother yesterday at her apartment in New York City. Michelle recently underwent a liver transplant, and it is believed that that may have contributed to her unexpected passing. And now the office for the New York City Chief Medical Examiner has declared her death, the cause is undetermined. What? Undetermined? Well, the medical examiner did perform an external examination of Michelle's body, but her family has objected to an autopsy. I will share some thoughts on that in a moment, but first, let's look at this statement from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in New York. They say, quote, "Under public health law," they say, "families may object to autopsy based on religious belief, and provided there is no suspicion of criminality or compelling public health reason to proceed with autopsy, the medical examiner honors the objection." Michelle and her family are Jewish, and according to the very brief research that I did, quote, "Jewish law generally prohibits autopsies, but there are some exceptions. Jewish law views autopsies as desecrating the body. Scripture prohibits disfiguring the body after death, and the body must be buried in its entirety. There are some exceptions. Autopsies may be performed if required by law. Autopsies may be performed if they could directly save another person. Autopsies may be performed to study contagious diseases or hereditary disorders. Autopsies may be performed to study the use of medications. According to Jewish law, if an autopsy is necessary, it should be performed as close to the date of death as possible. The entire body is to be buried following the autopsy. Jewish representatives prefer non-invasive post-mortem procedures. Interpretations of exceptions may differ between different Jewish communities, Orthodox, Reform, etc. So, her death certificate will list undetermined as her cause of death. And what we do know is that prior to her death, she really was very unwell. People magazine, whom I consider to be very reputable, says that Michelle had opened up to a close circle and, quote, told friends she was struggling with health issues and really, really sick. In fact, she was so unwell that when she went out to dinner in New York City last week, she couldn't walk downstairs. A friend of the 39-year-old's shares that Michelle ultimately, quote, knew that death was a high possibility. Now on to her family. Whatever Michelle was struggling with, she chose to be private with that. I think her family is not trying to cover anything up. I think her family is, on one hand, and an important one, honoring their Jewish faith, and on the other hand, they are honoring their beloved Michelle, who was very private with what she was going through and did not disclose with concerned fans anything about her health. And to a lot of you spreading rumors out there, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe, from my understanding, that you will not be given a liver for a transplant if you are an addict, if you are boozing or taking substances, or even if you have an alleged eating disorder. I don't believe you would qualify for a liver transplant. Needless to say, her family made the right decision, even if fans would like answers. Undetermined is what we're getting. And I send Michelle's mother and sister so much light. Thoughts on this? Let's discuss in the comments section.